ChatGPT gave me a great prompt tonight, and it leads me to think about one of my favorite topics, which is friendship and what people describe as community. The prompt is, what's something people say they value, but their behavior usually contradicts? And I would argue, while I know there's a ton of nuance, and I know there's a ton of different scenarios, and I know this is not black and white, I would argue still that in our Western America, there are a tremendous number of people that say they value friendship, that say they value close, tight-knit community, and yet their behavior usually contradicts that value. There are so many of us who have experienced or have been the person who maybe has great friends at one point in their life and then believes that friendship is only for a season and chooses to desert that friendship and maybe move across the country for a dream life, like maybe a dream location, maybe education, maybe career advancement, maybe being closer to family. And I'm not saying any of those things are bad. I think all of those things are incredibly great in so many ways, right? But there's trade-offs, there's scarcity of time and scarcity of just awareness and attention in our world. And when you prioritize something higher, something has to give. Something has to be lower on the totem pole. So on the hierarchy, the priority list, if you will. So while people might say that they prioritize community, friendship, they actually prioritize the job. They actually prioritize the dream location. They actually prioritize the education. They actually prioritize their immediate family. And family in particular, I would say that's a tough one. That's a really tough one, as my family members will say, as well as I live far away from them, right? That's definitely a felt contradiction, question, like what do I actually want more? Is it the friendships? Is it the tight-knit community? Or is it the family? Is that a binary? Not always. Anyway, I digress. Another reason that I see a lot of people do, which will apply to a lot of you, is your kids' school. When you have kids and maybe you live in a city and you have really good friendships and community in your city, I see this a lot. There comes a point where it's like, well, we have kids now, we have to put them in school, let's move out to the suburbs. And you desert the friends that you had close by, and even if it's just an hour, it creates a lot of friction on that relationship and in the depth of that relationship, and it's very unsustainable. Therefore, you have to find new friends, if you will, and it's just another example of how you didn't prioritize friends and didn't get creative. There's other ways to skin the cat. I'm not saying the kids aren't important.